Tell me, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and saw a person who is completely alive? Not just breathing, not just existing, but truly alive. Or have you been walking through life like a half-written story, full of regrets, doubts, and unfinished dreams? Let me tell you something very important. You are not a product of your past. You are a potential of your future. But the real question is, are you ready to meet the best version of yourself? Because that version is not waiting in some distant future. It is already inside you, screaming to be unleashed. But most people will never meet their best self. They will remain trapped in their old habits, toxic thoughts, and weak excuses. You will not be one of them. Today, I'm going to give you the exact wisdom you need to become the most powerful, unstoppable version of yourself. But remember, wisdom without action is wasted. Your past is like an old movie reel, playing in your mind over and over again. The same regrets, the same mistakes, the same wounds. And yet, here you are watching that film as if it has the power to change the present. Tell me, have you ever tried driving a car while staring only at the rearview mirror? What happens? You crash. That's exactly what most people are doing with their lives. They are moving forward while constantly looking backward, wondering why they feel stuck. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, or even 5 minutes ago. Every second your body is changing, your cells are regenerating, your thoughts are shifting. But if your mind is still clinging to what is already gone, how can you expect to grow? Imagine a person who was betrayed in love. They carry that betrayal like a chain around their neck. Every time they meet someone new, they hesitate. Every time they feel love knocking at their door, they pull back. What if it happens again, they whisper. Do you see what's happening? The past is still controlling them. The person who hurt them is no longer in their life. But they have become their own jailer, locking themselves in a prison of fear. The chains were never real, only the mind made them real. Or take another example. A businessman fails in his first venture. He loses everything. His friends mock him. His family shakes their heads in disappointment. The fear of failure digs deep into his heart, and so he refuses to try again. He says, "What if I fail again?" But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is the staircase to success. Every great person you admire has been knocked down by life, but they refuse to stay there. If Steve Jobs had given up after being fired from Apple, if J.K. Rowling had stopped after being rejected by 12 publishers, if Thomas Edison had quit after failing 10,000 times, do you think the world would have ever seen their brilliance? No. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay mediocre is this. The successful ones do not let their past failures define them. But most people? They live as if their past has a remote control over their present. They keep pressing rewind on the worst moments of their life, as if replaying the pain will somehow change what has already happened. The truth is, pain only lasts as long as you hold on to it. The moment you decide to let go, its power over you vanishes. Do you know what's funny? If a snake bites you, would you chase the snake to punish it? Or would you remove the venom before it kills you? Most people do the opposite. They get bitten by the snake of betrayal, failure, heartbreak, and instead of removing the poison, they chase the past, looking for revenge, looking for explanations, looking for apologies. But all the while, the poison is spreading inside them, making them bitter, weaker, and more trapped. People say, "But I can't forget what happened." No one is asking you to forget. But ask yourself, is carrying this pain helping you? Is it making you wiser, stronger, more peaceful? Or is it turning you into a prison of your own thoughts? There is an ancient story about a man who carried a heavy sack of stones everywhere he went. He struggled under its weight, barely able to move. One day someone asked him, "Why do you carry this burden?" The man said, "Because I was hurt, because life was unfair, because people betrayed me." The person laughed and said, "And do these stones change what happened?" The man realized something in that moment. He was the one who picked up the stones. He was the one who refused to put them down. His suffering was not because of what happened in the past, but because he chose to carry it. Your mind is your home. If you allow past pain to take up space inside it, you are the one making yourself homeless. You are not what happened to you, you are what you choose to become. If someone insulted you 10 years ago, why is their voice still living inside your head today? Why are you renting out space in your mind to the very people who hurt you? You are feeding ghosts that should have been buried long ago. The past is nothing but a story you keep telling yourself. The moment you change the meaning of that story, your life changes. You were not rejected, you were redirected to something better. You did not fail, you learned. You were not abandoned, you were set free. Some people say, but I was broken. No, you were not broken. You were just being reshaped into something stronger, something greater. A sword is not strong until it has been through fire. A diamond does not shine until it has been cut. And you will never become your greatest self until you burn away the old version of you that is still holding on to the past. Imagine holding a glass of water straight in front of you. It's light at first. But if you hold it for an hour, your arm starts to ache. If you hold it for a day, your arm becomes numb. The weight never changed, but the longer you hold on, the heavier it feels. This is what happens when you carry your past for too long. It starts poisoning your present, crippling your future, and making you forget who you were meant to become. So the question is not whether your past was painful. The question is, why are you still holding on to something that is not holding on to you? People wait for motivation like it's some magical force that will suddenly strike them and turn them into a completely different person. They sit around hoping for that one inspiring moment, that one surge of energy that will push them to take action. But tell me, have you ever seen a lion waiting for motivation before it hunts? Have you ever seen a river waiting for permission before it flows? No, nature does not rely on fleeting emotions. It simply does what it is meant to do. And yet human beings, who consider themselves the most intelligent creatures, keep waiting, keep hesitating, keep delaying. Motivation is like a spark. It feels exciting, but it disappears quickly. Think about the first day you decided to go to the gym. You were fired up, you bought new shoes, made a workout playlist, told everyone, this time I'm serious. Then what happened? A week later, the motivation was gone. Why? Because motivation is nothing but a feeling, and feelings change. If you only act when you feel like it, you will always be a slave to your emotions. You will start something with enthusiasm and then quit the moment it gets tough. Look at successful people, the ones who have truly built something extraordinary. Do you think they rely on motivation? No. They rely on discipline. Imagine a farmer. He wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day to tend to his fields. It does not matter if it is cold, if he's tired, if he doesn't feel like it. If he skips even a single day, his crops will die. His success is not based on feelings. It is based on consistent action. If you plant a seed today, you don't see a tree tomorrow, but you still water it. You still take care of it. Because you know that if you stay disciplined, the results will come. But most people don't think like that. They wake up and say, I don't feel like working today. I don't feel like studying. I don't feel like chasing my dreams. Do you think the universe cares about how you feel? The world rewards results, not excuses. There was a man who wanted to become a writer. He waited for inspiration to strike him. He kept saying, one day, I'll write my book. Years passed and he was still waiting. Then one day he met an old friend who had already written 3 books. The man was shocked. He asked, how did you do it? I've been waiting for inspiration for years and nothing has happened. His friend laughed and said, I don't wait for inspiration. I sit down and write every day no matter what. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. Discipline is when you wake up and take action, even when you don't feel like it. When your mind says, I'm tired, but your willpower says, we do it anyway. A boxer doesn't train only when he feels strong. A soldier doesn't prepare for battle only when he's in the mood, and you cannot build your best self by working only when it's convenient. Think about a mountain. It does not move for the wind. It stands tall, unmoved, unaffected. That is what you must become. Discipline is showing up even on the days when every part of you wants to quit. It is pushing through the discomfort, through the boredom, through the moments when your mind is screaming for an easy way out. A young man once asked a wise teacher, "How do I become strong?" The teacher smiled and told him to carry a heavy stone up a hill every morning. The young man asked, "For how long?" The teacher said, "Until you no longer ask that question." The young man carried the stone every day, and each day he asked himself, "Why am I doing this?" But as time passed, he realized something. He had become stronger, faster, more resilient. He no longer needed the motivation to do it. He had become the kind of person who does it anyway. If you want to change your life, stop depending on your mood. Success does not care about your mood. Your future does not care about your feelings. If you want to be fit, go to the gym even when you're tired. If you want to be successful, work hard even when you feel lazy. If you want to be great, practice even when no one is watching. Most people will never succeed because they are addicted to comfort. They only act when it feels easy. They only work when it feels fun. But the truth is, the best things in life come after discomfort. A muscle grows after it tears. A diamond forms after intense pressure. And a person becomes unstoppable after they learn to master discipline over motivation. The world is full of people who started but never finished. The ones who told everyone about their big dreams but never had the discipline to chase them. The ones who waited for motivation and as a result waited forever. Do you want to be one of them? Or do you want to be the kind of person who does not wait, does not hesitate, does not quit? There is no secret formula to success, no magic pill, no shortcut. There is only this. Do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Most people live their lives trapped in the expectations of others. They walk around carrying invisible chains. Chains of opinions, chains of judgments, chains of what society thinks they should be. They live not as themselves, but as a reflection of what the world wants them to be. And the most tragic part, they don't even realize they are prisoners. From the moment you were born, the world started telling you who you should be. Sit like this, talk like that, don't be too loud. Don't be too quiet, be successful but not too ambitious, be kind. But don't let people take advantage of you. It never ends. You were given a script before you even had the chance to write your own story. But let me ask you, who wrote this script? Who decided what is right for you? Imagine a bird that was born in a cage. It grows up believing that the small space around it is all there is to life. One day, someone opens the cage, but the bird does not fly away. It stays inside, afraid of the vast sky outside. Why? Because it has been conditioned to believe that the cage is its home. This is exactly what happens to people. They are conditioned to believe in limitations, in rules that were never theirs to begin with. They stay inside the cage of others' expectations because it feels safe, because it is familiar. But deep inside, they know there is something more. They feel an emptiness, a restlessness, a whisper inside them saying, "You are meant for something greater." But they ignore it, fearing what people might say. How many people have buried their dreams just because they feared judgment? How many talents have died because someone was too afraid to be different? Think about it. The world is filled with unfinished paintings, unwritten books, unspoken songs, all because someone was too afraid to be judged. But here's the truth. No matter what you do, people will judge you. If you follow your dreams, they will say you are crazy. If you stay in the crowd, they will say you are a coward. If you fail, they will laugh. If you succeed, they will envy you. So tell me, if you're going to be judged anyway, why not be judged for doing something that truly makes you come alive? Look at the most successful, the most inspiring people in the world. Were they normal? Were they ordinary? No, they were different. They were misunderstood. They were criticized. But they refused to let the noise of others drown out there in a voice. Do you know what happens when you live for others? You die inside, slowly, day by day. You wake up and put on a mask, pretending to be someone you are not. And at the end of it all, you realize that the world never truly cared. The people you tried so hard to please, they move on. But your dreams, your desires, they die with you. Think about the greatest inventions, the greatest art, the greatest music in history. None of them came from people who were afraid to be different. The Wright brothers were laughed at when they tried to fly. Thomas Edison was called foolish when he failed thousands of times. Even great spiritual leaders were rejected in their own time. But did they stop? No, because they knew one thing. You cannot create something extraordinary by living an ordinary life. A lion does not ask permission to roar. The ocean does not apologize for its waves. And you should not feel guilty for wanting to be who you truly are. There was once a man who spent his whole life trying to please others. He worked a job he hated because society told him it was safe. He dressed a certain way because people told him it was acceptable. He spoke softly because he was told being bold was arrogant. One day on his deathbed, he whispered, "I lived my whole life for others, but I never truly lived for myself." Is that the kind of regret you want? To reach the end of your life and realize you never truly lived? The world will always try to fit you into a box. But you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. The tree does not ask permission to grow. The sun does not dim its light just because someone finds it too bright. So why should you shrink yourself to make others comfortable? Break free. Do not let the opinions of others dictate your path. Do not let their doubts become your truth. Your life is yours to live, and the most powerful thing you can do is to be unapologetically yourself. Most people spend their entire lives chasing things outside of themselves. They believe happiness is in a bigger house, a better job, a perfect relationship. They think, once I have this, once I achieve that, then I will be happy. But they don't realize that every time they reach one goal, another desire takes its place. It's like running on a treadmill. No matter how fast you go, you are still in the same place. Imagine a man climbing a mountain. He struggles, sweats, and pushes himself higher, thinking that once he reaches the top, he will feel fulfilled. But when he gets there, he only sees another mountain in the distance, taller and more challenging. He forgets to enjoy the climb because he is obsessed with the destination. This is how most people live. They are constantly reaching for something else, never realizing that happiness is not something to be found outside. It is something that must be created within. Look at a child playing in the rain. The child does not need expensive clothes, a fancy car, or social media followers to feel joy. They laugh, dance, and enjoy the moment because they have not yet been programmed to believe that happiness is something they must chase. But as we grow older, society teaches us that we must achieve happiness. You need a high-paying job, you need to be successful, you need to be admired. And so people become prisoners of this endless chase, always looking ahead but never truly living in the now. A man once spent his whole life working hard, saving money, and sacrificing his happiness so that one day he could finally relax and enjoy life. He told himself, once I retire, I will be happy. But when that day came, he realized he had spent so many years chasing the future that he had forgotten how to live in the present. He had money, but he had no energy left to enjoy it. He had success, but he had no time left to experience life. Happiness is not a destination. It is not something you will find once you reach a certain point in life. It is something you must cultivate within yourself right now. If you cannot be happy with what you have today, you will not be happy with 10 times more tomorrow. If your mind is always focused on what is missing, no amount of success will ever be enough. Have you ever seen a beggar smiling? Have you ever met a rich man who is miserable? What does that tell you? It tells you that happiness has nothing to do with what you own. It is a state of mind. A billionaire sitting in a mansion can feel empty, while a simple farmer working in the fields can feel completely at peace. The difference is not in their bank accounts. It is in their minds. There's a story of a fisherman who lived by the sea. Every day he would catch just enough fish to feed his family. He would spend his afternoons relaxing, playing with his children, and enjoying life. One day, a businessman came to him and said, "Why don't you catch more fish and sell them?" The fisherman asked, "Why would I do that?" The businessman replied, "So you can make more money and buy a bigger boat." And then, the fisherman asked, "Then you can catch even more fish, expand your business and become rich. And then you can retire and relax by the sea, spending time with your family." The fisherman laughed and said, "But that's exactly what I'm doing right now." Most people don't understand this simple truth. They chase wealth, power, and recognition, thinking that once they achieve these things, they will find peace. But real peace is not found in the future. It is found in the present moment. It is found in learning to enjoy what you have, in appreciating the small things, your morning coffee, a walk in nature, the laughter of a loved one. Happiness is not something that someone else can give you. No relationship, no job, no achievement will make you happy unless you have learned to create happiness within yourself. People search for happiness in material things, but material things only bring temporary pleasure. They do not bring lasting fulfillment. That is why people keep upgrading their phones, buying new clothes, searching for the next exciting thing. Because the happiness these things bring fades quickly. But the peace that comes from within, that is unshakable. A tree does not wait for someone to tell it that it is beautiful. The river does not ask for permission to flow. The sun does not need validation to shine. They simply exist, doing what they are meant to do, and in that they find peace. But human beings, they doubt themselves. They compare. They search for happiness outside, never realizing that everything they need has been inside them all along. There are two types of people in this world, those who are always searching and those who have already found. The ones who are always searching believe that happiness is somewhere out there, in money, in status, in approval. But the ones who have already found know that happiness is here, in this very moment, in the simple act of being alive. Most people want success, but they are unwilling to go through the fire that forges it. They admire greatness, but they refuse to endure the pain that creates it. They look at strong, confident individuals and think, "I wish I had their strength." But do they understand what it took to build that strength? Do they see the nights of self-doubt, the moments of loneliness, the struggles, the failures, the battles fought in silence? A diamond does not become a diamond by staying in comfort. It must endure immense pressure, heat, and time. Without this process, it would remain just a piece of coal. Yet people want to shine like diamonds but avoid the pressure that creates them. They want to be great but are unwilling to suffer for it. Imagine a person who joins a gym. On the first day, they lift a few weights, feel some discomfort, and then quit because it's too hard. Now imagine another person who pushes through the pain, who wakes up sore but still goes back, who keeps lifting, pushing, struggling. A month later, who is stronger? Who has transformed? Life works the same way. Growth only happens when you are willing to endure the discomfort of transformation. The reason most people never become the best version of themselves is that they run from pain. The moment things get difficult, they quit. They want an easy path, a shortcut, a life without suffering. But tell me, has any great human being ever achieved anything without struggle? Did the greatest athletes wake up one day with their skills? Did the most successful entrepreneurs build their empires without sacrifice? Did the strongest individuals become strong without first being broken? Look at nature. A seed must break before it grows. A caterpillar must dissolve inside a cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. The process is painful, but the result is transformation. The same applies to you. If you want to evolve, you must be willing to break, to go through challenges that test you, to endure moments where everything inside you wants to give up. But if you can stand in the fire without running, you will emerge unshakable. There is a reason why people admire those who have overcome hardships. Because deep down, they know that resilience is rare. Most people crumble under pressure. Most people surrender to fear. But the ones who don't, the ones who keep pushing, who refuse to be defeated, become legends. Think about the hardest moments in your life. The times you thought you wouldn't make it. The moments of heartbreak, failure, loss. Now ask yourself, did those moments destroy you or did they make you stronger? If you are here today, it means you survived them, it means you learned, it means you grew. The difference between the strong and the weak is not that the strong never suffered. It is that they used their suffering as fuel. While some people break under pain, others build themselves with it. While some let failure define them, others use failure as a stepping stone. While some drown in adversity, others rise from it. There is a story of a young man who wanted to learn the secret of success. He went to a wise teacher and asked, "How can I be successful?" The teacher took him to a river and pushed his head underwater. The young man struggled, gasping for air, fighting to be free. Just before he thought he would drown, the teacher pulled him up and asked, "What did you want the most in that moment?" "Air," the teacher said. "Then you will have it." Most people want success, but they do not need it. They treat their dreams as wishes, not as necessities. They say, "I would like to be successful," instead of saying, "I will do whatever it takes." But if you treat success like air, something you cannot live without, then nothing will stop you. Ask yourself, how badly do you want it? Do you want it enough to endure failure? To be misunderstood, to be judged, to wake up earlier, work harder than others, keep going when others quit? If your answer is no, then you do not truly want it. You only like the idea of it. Every struggle you face is an opportunity to grow. Every challenge is a chance to build strength. Every failure is a lesson, not a punishment. The universe does not give easy lives to those who are destined for greatness. It tests them, breaks, but to reveal who they truly are. A warrior does not become a warrior by reading about battle. A warrior becomes a warrior by stepping into the arena, by facing fear, by fighting, by failing, by rising again. The same applies to you. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you cannot avoid struggle. You must step into it. You must embrace it. You must let it shape you, mold you, transform you. Because once you do, you will realize that the pain was never meant to break you, it was meant to build you. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for someone to come and push them forward, to inspire them, to tell them they are good enough, to validate their dreams. They wait for a friend, a mentor, a loved one, or even a stranger to come and say, "You are special, you have greatness inside you." But let me ask you, if you keep waiting for others to see your worth, how long will you wait? 5 years? A lifetime? If a lion needed approval before it roared, would it still be the king of the jungle? If a river needed permission before it flowed, would it ever reach the ocean? The problem with people is they look in the mirror and see a version of themselves shaped by other people's opinions. They see the labels society has given them. They hear the voices of those who doubted them, who mocked them, who told them they weren't enough. And instead of roaring like a lion, they whisper. Instead of flowing like a river, they stand still. You don't need anyone's approval to become the best version of yourself. The only permission you need is your own. If you wait for others to tell you that you are ready, you will never begin. If you wait for the world to believe in you, you will never take action. Because the truth is, most people don't even believe in themselves. How can they believe in you? Most people are too busy doubting their own potential, too scared to chase their own dreams, too caught up in their own fears. So why are you waiting for them to see something in you that they cannot even see in themselves? Think of a child learning to walk. When the child falls, do they stop trying? Do they say, maybe walking isn't for me? No, they get up, they try again. They don't wait for someone to say, you can do this. They don't need encouragement, their determination is enough. But as we grow up, we lose this natural resilience. We start looking for approval. We start listening to the voices of others instead of the voice inside us. The most dangerous thing you can do is place your self-worth in the hands of others. Because the moment you do, they control your destiny. If they praise you, you feel good. If they criticize you, you feel worthless. But why should the power to define you be given to someone else? Why should someone who doesn't even know your journey decide how far you can go? Look at the greatest individuals in history. Scientists, artists, leaders, visionaries. Did they wait for permission to be great? Did they ask the world, is it okay if I follow my dreams? No. They acted, they created, they believed in themselves when no one else did. They knew that if they wanted to change the world, they had to start by changing themselves. If you need a sign, let this be your sign. If you need approval, let it come from within. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you are enough. Stop looking at others for validation when the only validation you need is your own. If you want to be something, be it. If you want to do something, do it. The world does not owe you an invitation to greatness. You must claim it yourself. Imagine you are an artist and your life is a blank canvas. If you wait for others to tell you what to paint, your canvas will remain empty. If you ask others, what should I create? They will give you their version, their expectations, their fears. But if you pick up the brush and start painting, without hesitation, without fear, you will create a masterpiece that is uniquely yours. The greatest tragedy in life is not failure. It is never trying. It is living with the regret of what you could have been if only you had believed in yourself. There are people who die with their music still inside them, who never sang their song because they were afraid of being judged. There are people who never started their journey because they were waiting for approval. But you are different. You are not here to live according to other people's expectations. You are not here to be confined by the opinions of those who do not understand your vision. You are here to create, to build, to evolve, to become the best version of yourself, not for them but for you. If you truly want to transform your life, stop seeking permission. Stop looking around for signs. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment will never come. The perfect approval will never arrive. You must decide right now that you are ready, that you are enough, that you do not need anyone to tell you that you can, because you already know that you can. A bird does not ask the sky if it is allowed to fly. It simply spreads its wings and soars. Now the question is, will you? Most people are trapped in the cycle of comfort. They wake up, do the same things, think the same thoughts, repeat the same actions and expect life to change. But how can life change if you don't change? How can you become a new version of yourself if you're stuck in old patterns? People say they want success, happiness and growth, but when it comes to stepping out of their comfort zone, they freeze. They hesitate, they resist. Because the comfort zone feels safe, it feels familiar. But let me tell you this, nothing great was ever achieved in the comfort zone. Look at a seed buried deep in the soil. Does it stay there refusing to grow because it's comfortable in the darkness? No, it pushes through, breaking the earth, stretching toward the light. Growth is never comfortable, transformation is never easy. But if you refuse to step beyond your limits, you will remain exactly where you are. Stuck, stagnant, unchanged. The problem is, most people fear discomfort. They avoid pain. They run from struggles. They say, I'll change when I'm ready. But the truth is, you will never feel ready. You will never wake up one day and suddenly feel brave enough, smart enough, or strong enough. Readiness is an illusion. The only way to become ready is to take action before you feel ready. To do the things that scare you. Think of a caterpillar when it's inside the cocoon. It's not comfortable. It's dissolving, breaking down, becoming something completely different. If it resists the transformation, it will never emerge as a butterfly. It will stay trapped, forever stuck in a body that was never meant to be its final form. And yet that's what most people do. They resist their own evolution. They cling to old habits, old identities, old excuses. They don't want to break apart to become something greater. Growth means facing discomfort head on. It means waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It means saying no to distractions when you'd rather waste time. It means putting yourself in situations where you might fail, where you might feel lost, where you might struggle. Because in that struggle you grow. In that discomfort, you evolve. Every person you admire, every successful entrepreneur, every athlete, every artist, every leader has one thing in common. They embraced discomfort. They didn't let fear stop them. They didn't let failure define them. They walked into the fire, knowing that struggle is not the enemy, stagnation is. Think of an athlete training for a championship. They don't wait until they feel strong. They train through the pain. Their muscles ache, their body screams, but they keep going. Why? Because they know that growth happens in the pain. Strength is built in the struggle. It's the same in life. If you avoid challenges, you avoid growth. If you escape discomfort, you escape transformation. But the good news is, discomfort doesn't last forever. What was once painful will become easy. What was once terrifying will become second nature. The gym that felt impossible to go to will become a daily habit. The speech that scared you will become effortless. The skill that felt out of reach will become second nature. The discomfort you embrace today is the strength you will carry tomorrow. You must train yourself to seek discomfort. When you feel resistance, don't run, lean in. When fear whispers, stay where you are, say, watch me grow. When doubt tells you you're not ready, take action anyway. Because every time you step beyond your limits, you expand your reality. You become someone new. Most people dream, but only a few people do. The difference? The doers embrace the struggle. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for comfort. They move despite the fear, despite the doubt, despite the uncertainty. And because of that, they evolve. They become unstoppable. They become limitless. The question is, will you? Most people live their lives carrying a heavy burden, the burden of their past. They walk around with the weight of past mistakes, past failures, past heartbreaks, and past disappointments. And they wonder why they cannot move forward. How can you run toward your future when you're shackled to your past? How can you grow into the person you are meant to be when your mind is still trapped in who you used to be? The past is a place of reference, not residence. You are not meant to live there. You are not meant to keep replaying the same painful memories over and over, torturing yourself with what ifs and if onlys. If you keep staring at a closed door, you will never notice the new doors opening right in front of you. Imagine driving a car, but instead of looking ahead, you keep staring at the rear view mirror. What will happen? You will crash. Because life is meant to be lived forward. The rear view mirror is small for a reason, so you can glance at it when needed, but not fixate on it. The windshield is wide for a reason. Because the future is where your focus should be. So many people get stuck in their own minds, replaying past failures like a broken record. I should have done this. I wish I could go back. Why did I make that mistake? But let me ask you, does thinking about the past change anything? Does sitting in regret rewrite the story? No. The past is unchangeable. It is gone, finished, done. The only thing that still exists is the lesson. Look at nature. A tree does not mourn the leaves it lost in autumn. It does not cry over the branches, the wind broke. It simply grows. It moves forward. It embraces the new season. You must do the same. People fear letting go because they think it means forgetting. But letting go does not mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over pain. It means learning the lesson but releasing the suffering. It means accepting that some things were never meant to be, some people were never meant to stay, and some paths were never meant to be walked forever. Think of a snake. It sheds its skin not because the old skin was bad, but because growth demands it. Imagine if the snake refused to shed. If it held on to the past because it was afraid of the new, it would die in its own resistance. And yet that is what most people do. They refuse to shed their past, clinging to old wounds, old versions of themselves, suffocating in their own unwillingness to evolve. Every moment you spend thinking about what was, you steal from what could be. Every time you choose to relive your past, you reject the possibilities of your future. The most powerful thing you can do is free yourself. You must ask yourself, who are you without your past? If you were not carrying the pain, the guilt, the regret, who would you be? What kind of life would you create if you were not chained to old stories? The truth is, you are not who you were 5 years ago, 1 year ago, or even yesterday. Every second, you have the power to reinvent yourself. Letting go is an act of power. It means you are no longer controlled by what happened. It means you have taken back your strength. It means you have chosen yourself over your suffering. It means you have looked in the mirror and said, I am not my past. I am my future. Do not allow the past to keep you small. Do not allow regret to poison your mind. Do not allow mistakes to define you. A strong person is not one who has never fallen. A strong person is one who refuses to stay down. The moment you decide to let go, you become weightless. The moment you stop carrying the past, you become unstoppable. The moment you break free from old pain, you create space for new joy. The past was a lesson. The future is your canvas. What will you paint? Most people wake up every morning and let the world decide their mood. If the weather is bad, they feel bad. If someone speaks rudely to them, they carry that bitterness in their heart all day. If things don't go as planned, they become frustrated, defeated, and hopeless. And they don't even realize what they are doing. They are giving their power away. They are letting external situations control their internal state. But here's a truth that most people never understand. Happiness, peace, and strength are not given by the world. They are built within you. You cannot control what happens outside of you, but you can always control how you respond. You can let a single bad moment ruin your entire day, or you can decide that no external force is powerful enough to shake your inner foundation. A strong person is not one who never faces hardship. A strong person is one who remains unshaken despite the storm. Imagine you are standing in the middle of a powerful windstorm. The wind is trying to push you, trying to throw you off balance. The weak will stumble, fall, and complain about the wind. But the strong, they plant their feet firmly on the ground. They adjust their posture. They do not fight the wind, but they also do not let it break them. They remain rooted. This is how you must be in life. Life will throw challenges at you. People will betray you. Situations will disappoint you. Obstacles will arise. But if your inner world is strong, nothing in the outer world can shake you. If your mind is unshakable, no external chaos can bring you down. Look at a mountain. It does not tremble because of the storm. It does not beg the sky to stop raining. It stands tall, unbothered, untouched. You must learn to be like the mountain. Solid, steady, immovable. But most people live like a leaf in the wind, tossed around by every little thing. Someone criticizes them and their confidence disappears. They face one rejection and their self-worth collapses. They lose a relationship and they forget their own value. This is not strength. This is weakness disguised as normality. Strength is when someone insults you and you remain calm, knowing that their words are only a reflection of their own mind. Strength is when life does not go as planned, but you adjust, adapt, and keep moving forward. Strength is when the world is screaming at you to break, but you choose to remain whole. People will say, but it's not easy. Of course it's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. If it were easy, everyone would be powerful. But most people choose to be weak. They choose to react instead of respond. They choose to be victims instead of warriors. Look at fire. When it touches paper, the paper burns to ash, destroyed instantly. But when fire touches gold, the gold does not burn, it becomes purer. The fire that destroys one thing strengthens another. The difference? The nature of the material. The same is true for you. Will you be like paper, weak and easily destroyed by the flames of life? Or will you be like gold, becoming stronger with every challenge? You must train your mind to be indistractable. You must remind yourself again and again that no situation, no person, no hardship has the power to break you unless you allow it. You are not here to be controlled by the world. You are here to master yourself. Do not wait for life to become easy. Do not wait for the world to be kind. Do not expect people to always treat you well. Instead, build yourself so strong that no matter what happens, you remain at peace, unshaken, unstoppable, unbreakable. Most people live their lives looking for approval. They shape their thoughts, their actions, even their dreams based on what others think of them. They are like puppets, controlled by the invisible strings of society's expectations. They hesitate before making decisions, thinking, what will people say? They hold back from chasing their dreams, worrying, will they laugh at me if I fail? But tell me, whose life are you living? Yours or theirs? Whose approval will truly bring you peace? The greatest prison is the fear of judgment. People are so terrified of being misunderstood, so desperate to be liked that they forget the most important thing. The only person you need approval from is yourself. Look at the most successful, most powerful, most inspiring people in the world. Did they reach greatness by seeking validation? Did they become who they are by following the crowd? No, they were bold enough to walk alone. They understood that people's opinions are just noise. Temporary, changeable, meaningless. Imagine a lion walking through the jungle. It does not concern itself with the barking of dogs. It does not pause to explain itself to every creature that doubts its power. It simply moves forward. The world will always have something to say. If you fail, they will mock you. If you succeed, they will envy you. If you do nothing, they will pity you. So why bother listening? Look at how society works. One day they love someone, the next day they criticize them. One moment they praise and the next they condemn. Do you see the pattern? People's opinions are as unstable as the wind. Would you build your foundation on the shifting sands of public approval? Or will you stand firm in your own truth, no matter who agrees or disagrees? Every great leader, every innovator, every extraordinary person in history had one thing in common. They did not let the world define them. They defined themselves. They spoke their truth even when people laughed. They took action even when people doubted. They walked their path even when it was lonely. And in the end, the same world that doubted them came back to admire them. Do you know what happens when you stop caring about opinions? You become free. You are no longer controlled by the invisible chains of expectation. You no longer shrink yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. You no longer waste energy trying to please those who will never truly understand you. Instead, you focus on becoming the person you were born to be. Look at a tree. It does not ask permission to grow. It does not seek approval before stretching its branches toward the sky. It simply follows its nature. It grows. It expands. It becomes. You must do the same. You are not here to be a reflection of someone else's expectations. You are here to express your full potential, to live unapologetically, to chase your own definition of success. The opinions of others are like passing clouds, temporary, changing, insignificant. But your life, your dreams, your purpose, that is real. That is what deserves your focus. So stop asking for permission, stop waiting for approval, stop seeking validation. The world will never fully understand you, and that is okay. You were not meant to be understood. You were meant to be legendary. The world is full of noise. People will try to tell you who you are, what you can achieve, what is possible for you. But listen carefully. None of them have lived your life. None of them have walked in your shoes. None of them carry your fire. So why should their words decide your destiny? You were not sent here to fit into a mold. You were not created to be ordinary. You were born to rise, to shine, to break limits. Greatness does not come from comfort. It comes from the fire that burns inside you, a fire that refuses to be extinguished by doubt, by fear, by failure. Every time you feel like giving up, every time you think you are not enough, remind yourself, diamonds are made under pressure. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. The most powerful souls are built from struggle, from rejection, from pain. Do not fear these things. Embrace them. Because every challenge, every setback, every heartbreak is shaping you into something greater. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop telling yourself that you will start tomorrow, next week, next year. The truth is, life does not wait. Every second you waste in hesitation is a second you could have used to build, to grow, to become. The time is now, not when you feel ready, not when the world approves. Now, you have everything you need within you. The strength, the wisdom, the fire, it's all there, waiting for you to unleash it. But it will remain buried if you keep playing small. Stand up, speak boldly, move fearlessly. The world belongs to those who dare, not to those who sit and wish. If you want success, demand it from life. If you want respect, carry yourself like you deserve it. If you want happiness, stop chasing it and start creating it. And when people doubt you, when they say you are dreaming too big, aiming too high, smile. Because that means you are on the right path. No one criticizes the ordinary. No one questions the ones who never take risks. It is only the ones who dare to be great who hear the loudest noise. Let that noise fuel you. Let their doubts become your motivation. Because one day they will look at you and realize they were wrong. A lion does not concern itself with the opinion of sheep. A warrior does not seek approval before going into battle, and a legend does not wait for permission to rise. You are more powerful than you know, more capable than you believe, more destined for greatness than you can imagine. Do not let fear win. Do not let doubt steal your destiny. Walk with confidence, move with purpose, because you are unstoppable.